Hey everyone, I'm excited to give a tour of Sim Studio. Here we have a chat interface where I can ask about anyone and get some kind of response. So let's type in my name from Sim Studio and see what this chat returns back to us. So we can see here it finds some links about myself, so I can click on a LinkedIn profile and then I can ask about anyone on the internet. So now let's try my co-founder, Walid, from Sim Studio, but instead this time send a Slack message to my channel. So it's going to return to us a similar type of query, except this time I wanted to use the Slack tool to actually go and send a Slack message. So I did that, and if I click on his link, that's indeed my co-founder. So let's go back to our workflow. And so normally you would have to write all this code and handle the deployments and the chat UI. But in Sim Studio, it's just one agent block hooked up to the Exa tool and a Slack tool. So all I have to do is just give it access to these tools and pass in my API key, which I'm referencing in my environment variables here, and then write a system prompt. Like if the user says search, then use Exa, and if they use Slack, then send a Slack message, and I wrote down the eng test optional channel. Just to show you how easy it is, I'm actually going to delete this entire system prompt and change it and show you how we can update the chat in real time. So I'll say scrape this website and return the top 5 posts. So we're going to pass in Hacker News, and we're going to return the top 5 posts currently on Hacker News, and we can use the Firecrawl tool to do that. Instead of letting the agent decide if I want to use this tool, I'm going to force it so that it'll have to use this tool every time this agent makes a request. And then the last thing I want it in a structured format. Because this is sort of some structured data, and let's say I want to do something with it, I want an array with each item having a title and a description. Make sure it's a valid OpenAI JSON schema. Okay, great. And now this Ask AI feature will go ahead and populate this response format for me. I'm not sure if it looks good, but let's just go ahead and try it out. I see that the workflow changes are detected. So all I have to do is hit redeploy. And now this link is going to use the newly deployed workflow to execute any new requests. So all I have to do is pass in that link. And now it'll use the new system prompt and the Firecrawl scraper to return a structured output, which is cool, but it doesn't really help so much in this chat interface, but we can see it just did that. So let's check the logs and actually see how it returned this information. So if I open up this, we can see that it indeed did return a title and a description for the top 5 Hacker News posts, which we can see right here. Very cool. So this is sort of a basic workflow, but I want to show a little bit more exciting what you can do if you add a few more blocks to a workflow. And in this workflow, what we're going to do is we have a simple router block here that says if the user is asking about ice cream, let's go to this ice cream agent that then is hooked up with its mem0 memories to pull any relevant context that the agent can return. And then I wanted to write a poem about that user's memories and hook up to 11 Labs to actually create some text-to-speech with the poem that's created. And if they're not asking about it, then I want some default response, and I'll show how that works in a second. But I can open up the chat interface here, and I can type something like, I want ice cream. Now I can see my workflow in real time, what's being executed. So if I check the console messages, I can see that first here, it went down the ice cream path because I was already talking about ice cream. Then this agent used my memories, and if we look inside of my mem0 application, we can see that I have some memory here that I love cookies and cream ice cream. So let's see if the voice that's generated actually gave me some information about cookies and cream.
In a world where sweet dreams are always supreme, you find delight in cookies and cream, a scoop of joy.
Yeah, I think that works. But now let's ask about something that's not related to ice cream. So let's say Hacker News, and now let's go down this path. And as we can see here, we wrote some invalid JavaScript in this default response. So we have 2 paths, either the error path or the success path. And if we look into our console logs here, we can see that indeed we did have an error in our default response because of our invalid JavaScript here. And instead of going to function 3, which returns success, we went to function 2, which returns failure. Thanks so much.